Boom, 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 boom. Optimize. Welcome to episode 5. Steve, you're looking good.
Thanks, Fraser. You're looking great too, mate. How are you?
Good, man. I'm very good. This episode of the podcast is brought to us by our future sponsors, Arepa, the nootropic ultimate substitute for coffee, and All Press Coffee. I can't live without it.
What? What a sing on. How good. Mate, I do hoon those drinks for the record, though. They're so good.
Coffee or Arepa?
Arepa and coffee, both. Bro, both. Like, caffeine is, without a doubt, my number one, like, go-to. To be fair, I'm only two a day, two coffees a day. Never after 12 p.m. But, yeah, coffee is, like, that's bang for your buck in terms of performance for that caffeine hit.
Yeah, you're just saying the ultimate thing to get sponsored by coffee and Arepa.
Bro, like honestly, I didn't touch it until I was 28, and I was always pretty good in the morning. I was always pretty good, but when I started bringing coffee into my life, suddenly I felt like it just creeped in. You know, you're like, oh, I need my coffee before 7:30, or I can't operate, I can't do this. It's like,
Yeah.
caffeine molecules doing their thing.
I started when I was 18 drinking coffee at the hall at university because they had a coffee machine. It was dangerous.
On tap.
Yeah, bro.
There's a hazard.
It was a great hazard. We're going to be talking about supplementation today, which is an exciting topic. And what we've done, just for the listeners and viewers to understand, is that Steve and I have both selected 3 to 5 different supplements that we've got experience with. And then we're going to just have a one-to-one conversation breaking down the benefits and the use case for each supplement. So you'll get anywhere from 8 to 10 different supplements throughout this podcast. And Steve, what are you going to be talking about? What are your subs?
Yeah, I'm going to keep it to the areas that I've explored. I've tried supplements for, I think if I go back to my first attempt with them, it would have been that original bulk. Like everyone sort of had that phase where they try to pack on mass, and whether or not they do it cleanly or they do it dirty or they have success or they gain too much fat, they usually have a chapter where they're just pumping chemicals into their body. Aminos, they've got protein, they're hitting their targets. Maybe they're playing with pre-workouts. They've got beta-alanine floating through their system. I always found there was no immediate difference between that and good diet and hitting all your sort of your macros and your micros through good wholesome foods and that compounding over time. But there were some certain subs that I tried along the way that I was like, this is noticeable. This is a big difference for me. Not giving the power to the supplement, but also recognizing that this has its place. So the first one that I'm going to talk about is creatine.
Nice.
Yeah, stock standard. This has been dissected as one of your top classiest subs for bang for buck in terms of how much it costs, what you get out of it. I think recently it's been proven to help recovering from concussions. So if that's your sort of line of area, keeping your creatine 5 grams a day, don't overthink the bulking process or the preloading, just have it at the same time every day and never skip it, apparently, because if you miss a day, it's all gone. So whatever. But let's recognize that it's going to help in some capacity. I'm assuming you take creatine as well, Fraser?
Yeah, I'm actually taking it currently. And that's one of those things I remember when I was quite young at high school, people were saying, oh, you don't want to take too much creatine if you're not training hard enough. And there's validity to that. But now you also hear that there's more research in terms of brain health than there is for lean skeletal muscle mass on creatine. Yeah. So I think there is a use case to be able to use it more consistently.
Yeah, well, if we talk about, because first of all, I'll talk about my subs. So I'm going to talk about creatine. I'm going to talk about vitamin D. I'm going to talk about cacao. So,
very nice.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a little one that slides under the radar.
Yeah, and I like that you use cacao as, you put it in the supplement category.
For sure, man.
It's a new one for many people. I've been exposed to it for the last 5 years when I was working at Aroha, which is a well-being retreat and they use cacao ceremonially near the end of the retreat. And there's no coffee being drunk throughout the entire retreat. And then when these people drink cacao, they just get this buzz because there's quite a lot of energy, and there's theobromine and different molecules that help with blood flow and circulation. So that's a good one.
Yeah, it's a vasodilator, so definitely increases blood flow. It's got a lot of extremely important ingredients for human performance. So within, your stock standard intake of a cacao drink or a cacao chocolate lolly, whatever it is, however you're consuming it, you're getting a lot of magnesium, you're getting a lot of calcium. It's got the most iron out of any plant-based product. Obviously, we've experimented with vegetarian or veganism, and that's probably pretty important. Got a bunch of B vitamins, E vitamins, so yeah, it's a really powerful thing to add. And it's beautiful. It tastes so chocolatey. It's basically the other bean, the evil stepchild to the chocolate bean, right? Yeah, so
Yeah,
you want that in your diet. Yeah.
I like that.
How about you, mate?
Okay, so for my subs, I'm going to go a little bit more fringe, supplements that probably aren't used as often. And I actually got into these supplements because I started getting heart pain after taking the COVID vaccine. Against my will, might I mention. But hey, we don't want to get cancelled too fast, so we'll go away from that topic. Anyway, I was getting heart pain, and there's a protocol online, and it tells people to have a certain dosage of bromelain, which is an enzyme found in the stem of a pineapple. Then there's quercetin, which is a antioxidant that really helps the cardiovascular system. It helps to scavenge free radicals, which are the things that are damaging our cells, typically from poor diet and lack of exercise. And then the last one that it tells you to have with those first bromelain, quercetin, is nattokinase. And natto is this fermented soy, a particular breed or species of soy out of Japan, and it's got potent cardiovascular benefits. Again, it's all about vasodilation and improving circulation, which will kind of reduce thrombosis.
Oh, okay. It's not the only thing that's potent.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, and all three used together are like...
It's funny you bring up the fermented soybean. So I obviously spoke about this before, lived in Japan for 6 months, and some of my Japanese friends persuaded me to consume some natto. And dude, it might be an acquired taste, like that Malaysian spiky fruit, durian, I believe. Yeah, tried that as well.
Yeah.
Bro,
It's
natto was... it was gross. It was so disgusting. Me and Brooke got through it, and we never, we ordered it. We're like, that was hard. Like, that was painful. Like, so the potent is the right word, so...
Whoa.
But, yeah. Try that. I'm sure... I'm sure in the pill form it's probably a bit better to stomach, but...
Oh, mate, it doesn't taste like anything. I'm enjoying it.
I got robbed, I got set up.
It's good that you said the correct pronunciation. Natto kinesa.
Yeah.
Hey.
Onegashimasu, itadakimasu.
Watashi wa Fraser desu. Hi.
Fishing it out. I'm holding it down. I'm like, yeah, it's beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
I think a lot of the stuff that we need to highlight first and foremost off the bat is that supplements are an important part of performance, and you can get the mental and physical sort of adjustments that you might be needing, but we don't depend on these things. We're going to try them. We're going to see how they interact with our body, but don't give power to this stuff, because you're still going to be able to perform with the training that you're doing and the effects that you've basically put into place week by week, month by month. And if you're falling off because of a certain supplement, that's guaranteed to be placebo. Everything else compiles more powerfully than these little adjustments. But that being said, if you are deficient, it's a really good idea to add in what you're missing.
That's such a good point. Yeah, really important to remember that a supplement is only there to supplement your primary means of nutrition. So a whole food approach is always going to be better off than trying to fill your stomach with 20 different supplements. If you're not getting enough protein, carbohydrate, and fat, especially if you're a performance-based athlete, or you need to mentally perform because the brain uses a lot of energy as well. Whole food, eat your fruit and veg, eat good quality meat when you can, stay away from processed bullshit and sugar.
Yeah. Especially if you're one of those, I've spoken about this briefly, but like dopamine-driven individuals. Like, so we have these, usually these athletes that are focused on competition or they're enjoying their strength practices. These are usually dopamine-dominant individuals that like smashing PBs, hitting goals, smashing targets. Your food directly affects your mood, and so you want to be giving yourself those fats and protein around your workouts, but also, targeted carbohydrates. But your performance is going to come from, how you fuel and how you recover after that session. So sleep, this would be like, people take out carbs for dinner. Carbs are releasing, GABA, serotonin. They help you relax. They help you sleep better. They help you feel a little bit more relaxed and parasympathetic so that you can switch from that, action phase into a relaxation recovery phase. And so we can use those neurotransmitters as tools, depending on the food that we fuel ourselves with before and after sessions. That could be something that you look at for supplementation if you're not getting the adequate food. Dopamine-driven individuals usually operate well off fats and protein. That's giving them that dopamine hit. It's giving them the acetylcholine for their brain. So they're thinking faster, better reaction time. And then at the end of our session or at nighttime, we want to have a little bit of carbohydrates because we want to move into a good sleep. That's where the magic happens.
Get your parasympathetic activated.
Pick the system into the other place, right? We're a bit of action over here orientated, goal-driven, smashing all our PBs, and then we need to now recover so that we can do it all again. So that could be a strategy for introducing supplements to help you around those.
Very good. Okay, so when it comes to creatine, I believe, was that your first supplement?
Yep, and just stock standard. Monohydrate, pure, 5 grams.
Okay, and you're having it every day or just when you're training?
Every day, yeah.
Every day. Okay, that's good to know because, a lot of people get scared with this idea of, it's only when you're loading, you don't want to have too much water on the muscle, or it could be dangerous. And maybe,
but I train every day.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe that applies for a sedentary person that's not really moving.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we'll be able to do another supplement pod in the future, and we could go into more depth about the effects on brain health for creatine, because I know creatine monohydrate in most creatine supplementation, it provides the creatine phosphate that has been used in the ATP
the muscle cells.
Energy. Yeah, so ATP being adenosine triphosphate. When we use the energy in a cell, we lose one of those creatine phosphates. When we supplement with creatine, we're pretty much just replacing that, so our body has a surplus or more energy at its disposal to use.
For sure, which means training harder or at a higher intensity. Sorry, not always at a higher intensity, but training more efficiently.
Yeah.
As well, right?
And they generally say you can get a few more reps. You get a little bit heavier or a few more reps out of your weight session.
Yeah, they say that about caffeine as well. They always come back
so
to
maybe
caffeine.
if you mix the two.
Coffee and creatine, now we're talking. Bulletproof.
It reminds me of Caffeine and Kilos, that brand, that t-shirt.
I'd wear it. Caffeine in bulk.
Now, cacao. I'm quite interested in what you're going to say about this, because a lot of the community I was living with, they were smashing cacao. They were strictly no coffee, I'll just have cacao. And I was always nah, I love my coffee. I'm not gonna give that up. But how do you use it? Are you using it for performance more so?
Yeah, so for sure, man. It took a lot of when you live a certain way for a while, you don't partake in a lot of other enjoyable activities because you do understand the detrimental effect they can have on your performance.
Yeah.
Cacao's lovely and it just tastes beautiful. You can so caffeine, coffee in the morning, pre-workout, nothing wrong with the black coffee as a fuel source before you're going to do your session. But then I found that cacao sort of switches me into that next recovery phase. So
Yeah.
I'd use it to help myself study. I'd use it to help myself recover after a jiu-jitsu session, or I need to go and stretch out. And I want to bring myself into that parasympathetic state straight away. I was lucky enough to get introduced to cacao and feel the positive effects immediately, or it was placebo. Either way, it earned a place in my supplementation. I was doing hot yoga, as we've spoken about
Yeah.
previously,
Yeah.
and I'd never gotten through all 26 without just having to have a moment where you sit down and try to
Yeah. Yeah.
breathe,
I remember you saying.
getting yourself back to the zone. And the bro O'Sheen, who runs Coco Lounge NZ, that's where you get your stuff from, guys. Head on over that place. I think I've got a code, booth 15. You'll probably get a
Bro,
discount.
does he want to sponsor the podcast?
Of course he does. Well, let's put it on him.
Hey, yo, Ashid, if you're listening to this today, man, I need to be drinking the cacao on screen so people can see it.
On
Coco
tab,
Lounge,
yeah.
man.
Can have a cup. It's on my rash guards. He supported me a lot throughout my recovery phase of the jiu-jitsu journey.
That's right. Yeah, yeah. I've seen it on your rashies.
Yeah, so I've always repped him. Always got lots of positive things to say about the lad and his stuff. It's his tasty food, his tasty cacao drinks. But I got through the full Bikram or the hot yoga 26 poses for the first time ever. And he basically brought me around. He said, let's have a cacao before we hit up hot yoga together, and we'll see if it helps. And whether it was placebo or it was the good dose of magnesium, potassium, zinc, either way it helped. And I was like, okay, I'm never doing
Ever since.
it. He's got me just like that. So, but hey, that's what we want. We want to feel things that work and get results. So yeah, it gives you almost like a runner's high, if you are
Yeah,
get familiar with that. I think oxytocin's released right through a little bit of cacao consumption, so people feel good. It also helps with memory through serotonin, and like we said before, bang for your buck in terms of zinc, calcium, magnesium, potassium, lots of other vitamins. Plays the role. So
bingo.
just have a cup a day.
It sounds like such a good whole food alternative that gets all of these micronutrients, all these things that people generally take in supplemented form, which I know Paul Chek actually talks about, saying all of these isolated compounds in supplement form, they are just not bioavailable near as much as something that comes in its natural state, where cacao is perfectly harmonized and created as it should be, and it just assimilates with your body. So that's good to know.
100%. I actually had a bit of work experience in a pool check gym. It exposed a lot of balance, I guess we'll say, weaknesses and imbalances with the core. They use a lot of Swiss balls,
Yeah.
and a lot of rotation and, Aldoa type methods.
Mm-hmm.
But they were big on getting down to the source. Let's get the most like salt in its most, dense form and packed full of minerals.
Celtic sea salt.
Bingo, yeah. It's all the special stuff. It was just a very, like you said, harmonious approach to nutrition as their main sort of method for health. The exercise.
Foundation.
Yeah, and yeah. So just another take on it, really. It was an interesting chapter that I had.
Epic, bro. Yeah, man. I love that. And I think for a lot of the people listening, probably never had cacao before. They probably think of it as just like, sounds like chocolate. Is it Milo? Nah,
Bro,
cacao is the raw, unprocessed version of chocolate without the sugar added. And it's actually extremely healthy and really
But
good.
then you know me, right? Like that I'm whacking like 8 bits of dark Whitakers in that hot chocolate. I'm stirring it around, man. So
Oh, bro, for sure. Every evening, man, at least three
yeah.
rows.
I gotta sleep. I've got to get my serotonin hit.
I don't know, unless it's like the 95% dark Ghana. That's getting pretty tough to stomach sometimes.
Yeah. I can't chew through that, bro. So that's me, man. A simple creature: vitamin D, creatine, cacao, and pea protein or whey, depending on how my eczema's going.
Okay, bro, I love it. I'm going to start by covering bromelain. Bromelain's something that actually, I call this like an intuitive hunch. It kind of popped up into my life. I keep seeing the word bromelain in different areas, and I was like, intrigued by the enzyme. I was intrigued by the supplement. And I originally got into it because I've got this thing in my hand called Dupuytren's contracture. And it's like a solidified fibrotic layer of connective tissue, fascia, that goes on the tendon. And it eventually kind of makes your hand go like this. So you can't open and spread the fingers. And my dad's actually got it in both hands.
Okay.
To the point where, like, my dad had it so bad that he had to get an operation on it. And they kind of cut through the fibers of the scar tissue, and it helped, but then it grows back pretty fast.
So no handstand.
Yeah, bro, handstands would be a no-no. And I do think the fact that I do a lot of, like, inversions and hand balancing is probably helping slow the process.
Yeah, you also have like fantastic forearm. Your flexors are healthy, so that it detracts from the load that's going through that fascial cat.
I know, it's funny you say it's because, like, what is healthy, what is optimal? 'Cause depending on how strong you want to be in grappling, that may not be as good as I want it. So it's always a play-off. Like, yeah, I've got the mobility, but I sometimes think I'm lacking the ability to develop force and strength in some modalities. So,
But would you, on that note, let's unpack that, because you do strength work. You've just done a lot more sort of flexibility training, mobility training, yoga, but you still
correct.
do strength. Yeah. There's many of you know this that would have heard about that, like, what was it, FST or FTS or fascia something stretching training?
Yeah.
They supersetted like agonist workouts, like a bicep or a hack squat or whatever it was, and then they'd stretch the muscle that was worked. And it was apparently like agony, just like this ridiculous hypertrophy training, fascia stretching, hypertrophy fascia.
Whoa.
But they're still getting the results that they're looking for because they're applying both stimuluses. I think a better way to do it would be work out one side, stretch the other side, because of the lengthening stretch inhibition relationship. But
Yeah.
but
It depends. It's like, what is the primary goal and purpose of the training? Because in some ways, I think of that and it's like, isn't that counterintuitive? If you're wanting to, like, build... Nah, actually, I guess, like, if you're wanting to create hypertrophy, that might actually work. Because you're breaking down the fibers through muscular contraction, and then you're breaking them even more, taking through full range of motion. So
there's going to be a huge, like, swelling, a pump, a stretch, and a lot of pain, I'm imagining, as you do go into a stretch phase.
yeah,
Like, even if you drag a sled backwards for 10 minutes and then you start stretching your quads, it's pretty obvious what's going on. We're stretching pumped up tissue and it hurt.
Well, bro, good thing about bromelain is it's actually really good for swelling. It helps to reduce inflammation in the body. And what the enzyme bromelain does, it's found through the stem of the pineapple. I believe it's 20 times as concentrated in the stem of the pineapple, which nobody eats. Yeah, in the stem and in the skin of the pineapple compared to the edible flesh. But, what you can do is blend up the stem and then kind of strain it through a tea towel or something and then drink it as a fluid. But it's good to know that after surgeries, people will take bromelain as a supplement to help decrease the inflammation and the swelling in the joint if you've had a gnarly kind of operation. And it's also an anticoagulant, so it stops the clotting. And it's been looked at for cancer research as well.
So are you talking like, because it's a pineapple stem, it's dense, it's a dose, and you were saying pineapples take a while to grow, right? Like,
Yeah, bro. Yeah. Pineapples, take a guess. If you're a listener, take a little guess. Have a moment. How long do you think a pineapple takes to grow and harvest? I'll give you 5 seconds. While I reconnect my charger. The answer is 2 years.
2 years.
2 years of this beautiful pineapple absorbing all of the energy and light from the sun and turning it into this ultimate yellow golden healing dose of vitamin C and bromelain.
And you consume that.
It's right here. You can consume it too, because Optimise has just been sponsored by Gold Pineapples.
Sign me up. It's tropical Dunedin.
I'm enjoying it because we're starting to go like this. I'm noticing on the video we both kind of start like stroking our goatees.
I'm merely wondering if you've noticed any differences off it, because I'm like, tell me about it. Like, is it working? Do you still have the chest pain?
This
Oh,
noticeably
no.
doesn't hurt because it used to get like stiff. And I probably took it for a solid 3 months initially. This is a couple of years back. And then obviously with the COVID-19 vaccine and the recovery protocol that helps to get rid of spike proteins in the heart, bromelain kind of featured again in my life. And I was like, holy shit, I've already kind of looked into this. I was already fascinated by it. So now, given that there's a bit more of a reason to be taking it, aside from the scar tissue in the hand, I definitely think it's helping. And the heart pain I was experiencing 3 weeks ago is not there.
That's good. That's a big win.
It's very good. It's hard to say if that's like concrete evidence or not, because I'm taking a few different supplements and I'm training in a number of different ways, but
you're moving around, bit of stress.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've recently just moved, so, and back from travel, like always taking that hit when you've been on holiday or travel or partaking in fun activities in sunny Southeast Asia.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Then you're back to the grind.
Yeah, man. Like, that's it. Like, anytime you're out of routine, there's always an added stress, and routine goes out the door. So it is hard. I think bromelain, whether you're getting it in a pineapple or if you're getting it in the supplement kind of capsule form, it's worth looking into if you are kind of resonating with any of the things we've discussed so far.
And did the scar tissue come right?
Well, it's still noticeably thicker on this hand. You might be able to see it here. Compared to this hand, this doesn't have any on it. But it is in this tendon that connects the ring finger and the pinky finger. And like literally my dad's like this, bro. And it's all hard, calcified, like rock in the hand.
Yeah.
Hello.
It's funny you say that. My dad's got those pinkies that should have been cut when he was a kid.
Yeah.
To open up, but he's the same. Walks around like...
Bro, you know what to get him.
For
Christmas, get him 10 pineapples.
Eat them.
Okay, number 2 for me is, I don't know how to pronounce it. It's either quercetin or quercetin. And it's a flavonoid from a plant. And it comes from things like onions and apples and berries. But you can get it in a supplement form in a higher kind of concentrated dose.
Yep.
And as I kind of touched on at the start of the podcast, it helps to scavenge for free radicals. And it's really like important in the inflammatory process. So particular when it's used with nattokinase and bromelain, these 3 supplements are working together to help dilate the blood vessels in the heart, degrade the spike protein from the bromelain, and systemically decrease the amount of inflammation through the body. Pretty much just trying to cycle and siphon the toxins out of the system. So it's pretty cool.
The bro who runs the Cocoa Lounge got me onto that when I had COVID. He sent me a link, and I remember taking it at the time. I was basically like lemon, honey, like take everything that I can. And I remember actually taking quercetin, or however we pronounce it now. But he did mention it came from onions and et cetera, so it seems like a good one.
Yeah, it's good for like endothelial health. So all of the blood vessels, particularly like all the microvasculature that are helping to push and pull the blood to and from the heart. It's really good because it modulates how much nitric oxide you've got circulating through the bloodstream, which is, it's going to dilate the blood vessels and allow for an easier transport of oxygen.
Sick pumps.
Yeah, bro, exactly. So if you want sick pumps, quercetin. Go see Quercetin. You just start calling it Kirsten.
Are there, bro, tangent, one question. Everyone loves a pump. all the boys at the gym love finishing a session with a wee pump, and the girls, to be fair, they're vouching for that more than flexibility these days, and I've got to keep them steady. But nitric oxide, people, we're releasing this with certain breath exercises as well. Any evidence around creating a huge flood of nitric oxide, getting a pump, or taking these vasodilating supplements? Are they comparable, breath work versus supplementation?
Bro, that's a cool thing to look into. I don't know how much, because there's not really any nitric oxide supplementation I know of that are kind of like isolated in its form. It's a gas. But it can help be modulated and promoted by things like quercetin and other supplements. So, short answer, I don't know. A bit more depth and detail. I know you can increase your nitric oxide circulation by up to 1,500% if you do a 5 to 10 minute series of humming.
Humming's powerful, eh?
Humming's really powerful for increasing the NO, nitric oxide, as well as creating vagal tone. So really down-regulating the system and strengthening the nerve, the vagus nerve, that helps to kind of control that parasympathetic branch of the autonomic nervous system. So humming, exactly, man. If you do it for 5-10 minutes, you feel the difference.
It works a treat when you're dealing with the cold bath. You get people in there that are huffing and puffing. They've never controlled their breathing before, and you put them in a cold shock stimulus. That hum basically sorts them through long hums, and now they're breathing calmly again. Being able to get the benefits out of the cold, not just holding on for dear life, adding stress to stress.
Yeah, actually being able to relax into the cold and feel the cold to its full expression. I do the same, actually. I often do like an alternate nostril breathing with a really long humming exhale. And
in the cold?
In the cold.
Yeah.
Especially if you're trying to get through 3 minutes of 2 degrees.
Bro, I can't wait to put you in my ice bath in winter. Bro, we roll the door off this thing. You're going in full homo. We're pulling the door off this thing, and you're going in the tub. In winter, it gets down to 2 degrees. And yeah, man, it's cold. It's biting. Summer's chill. It was 10 degrees yesterday. We poured some ice in there, made it a bit worse. But
I like it. I look forward to it. I was just thinking of a way how can I one up you? Can I come with a headset where there's just ice floating around my head and brain, and I'm just
bro, it's easy to one up me, bro. I'm not gonna chase that cold stimulus. It's I've had enough of it.
Okay, we'll keep it moving. This is the last sup I'm going to talk about, is this natto. So it comes from traditional Japanese fermented soybeans, and natto is known for its cardiovascular benefits, particularly for decreasing blood clot formation, because it helps to break down this thing known as fibrin. So it makes it really, really beneficial for circulation. And again, it always comes back to decreasing inflammation in the body, and it also, with all of those aforementioned benefits, it helps to decrease blood pressure as well. So all three used in combination create this powerful protocol. If you're looking to, heal the heart or heal the body after COVID-19, if you've got long COVID or adverse reactions from the vaccine, look into all three.
That's cool.
Yeah, man.
That's cool, yeah.
This has been good. I've enjoyed this one.
Yeah, it's we're two pretty driven people in terms of what we accept, or what we want for ourselves. Supplementation is one of those ones that for me I've kept on the back burner. I've always wanted to just go my way, add things in as I find that they benefit me. But there's definitely, I'm leaving a bit on the table with probably some supplementation, especially moving through your 30s, mid-30s.
Yes.
There's definitely something that I should be looking into. I'm sure a lot of people listening to this are thinking the same thing, but...
So, yeah, bro, I completely agree. I know Paul Chek used to say that in your late 20s, early 30s, a lot of people run out of the enzyme that can metabolize and break down lactose. So lactase, you start running out of that enzyme. So then dairy products have a much more inflammatory effect on your body than they used to. And all of a sudden you've got an allergy, or you just can't deal with dairy. So I think supplementation and knowing our stuff when it comes to enzymes and how we can use these things to mitigate running out of the enzymes naturally, I think are really important.
Yeah, and using it to segue, our focus, right? Like if we know we want to, say we're trying to hit a hard jiu-jitsu training session, fuel up adequately, hit your dopamine, hit your acetylcholine, you're thinking better, you're performing better, and then you need to recover and sleep because you've got wife, kids, job, whatever. Making that switch into what does your body need now to get you into that relaxed phase, having some of those tools available to you is a good idea.
Massive, yeah. We've got a Q&A, and this is from a personal friend that has used pre-workouts before. And the question is just general, what are our thoughts on pre-workout supplements? Do we take them? And, do we enjoy them?
Yeah, I'll start. I'm pretty simple. I have a coffee half an hour before I train. If I'm doing a yoga session or a deeper flexibility session, I have a Barocca, something that just keeps me a little bit more brain, or B vitamins, getting your sort of thoughts and focus. You could sort of say that I've had some nootropics as well. I've played around with a few of them for focus and sort of memory around why am I here, what am I doing, and how am I meant to be aligning and contracting. But pre-workout itself, it's more like, am I performing this workout fasted? Am I going heavy today? How do I need to fuel?
Okay.
And if there's a plan, yeah.
What's your experience with the chemical pre-workouts that you'd get from a sup store? We're talking like
Ping.
Rip-free. Yeah, exactly. Good. We're on the same page here.
Bro, like honestly, it's fun for a chapter, just like bulking was, just like everything was. Fun for a chapter. Don't become dependent on this stuff. What's your grader? What's affecting the athlete? Why are they feeling like they need this to perform better? If we use it sparingly, we get more out of it.
Yeah.
That being said, though, you hit a fun pre-workout, a fun pump supplement on a Sunday morning. You walk around all day feeling good about yourself. Great, as opposed to sitting on the couch wasting your day.
Yeah.
Trade-off.
Yeah. Great point. I agree. Yeah, a lot of these things they're putting into the pre-workouts are not necessarily standardized or regulated that well.
Oh, no.
So, they've taken a few things off the market. Our listeners may be familiar with Jack 3D.
Yeah. Pretty sure the boys used to snort that on a Saturday night and go to town.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's like methamphetamine-based derivatives in some of these supplements. So definitely do not become dependent on them. I'm the same as Steve. Like, I've had my time. I used to work at a gym that had a pre-workout kind of bar, and I'd go get the odd one. During the COVID time, I also got lots of samples, but I stopped when I started, I was drinking green chemical one day, blue chemical the next, and then, red chemical on Friday, but I actually started to urinate blood.
You didn't.
Yeah, so I took that as a as a red flag, literally saying, "Hey, your kidneys are not doing well. Please stop drinking this poison."
Dude,
look at me now, bro.
Yeah, look at what you. So that's a great analogy. It's just like, but it's important to pass on. Like, I remember I won't name this guy. I should name you, but you're going to listen to this and you're going to know I'm talking about you. This guy told me that he tried some of those pro sups like Hyde, whatever it was. He was basically making these potent concoctions and consuming them. And he told me that he actually started ejaculating with like a purple color attached to it. And this guy, he just backed out of all sups immediately. He was done.
Bro, that baby's gonna come out ready to train.
Like Mega Mind, like his purple baby.
It's gonna be really vascular. It's gonna be slightly
Yeah.
like tingly, and it's gonna be ready to train.
Yeah.
As I look
First
at
name.
my daughter run through the pack, she's outside.
First name Beta, last name Alanine. This
Yo.
kid was born on pre.
Bro, my kid's name's gonna be Alpha Alanine. What are you talking about? Okay,
All right.
we'll call it
What a
there.
pleasure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Thank you everyone for joining us. That was Optimise episode 5, looking at supplementation. Steve, we'll see you next time, brother.
Can't wait. What a pleasure.